Hi, this is Dr. Mercola, and you probably aren't aware of the nickname that I had when I was going to medical school in the 70s. My fellow students gave me the nickname Dr. Fiber. Why? Because I was always preaching about the importance of health and food and diet, and especially about fiber. I've been passionate about fiber for many, many decades now. And why? Because it's just crucial for your health. And one of the most important functions that it serves is it helps to normalize the bacterial growth in your intestine. It's actually what we call a prebiotic. In other words, it serves as a food or a fuel source for the good bacteria in your intestine. And if they don't have this fuel, then they're going to die out. So that is really one of the keys to staying healthy, is making sure that you have enough good bacteria. And what we know is that less than 10% of the people in the United States are consuming enough fiber. So it's just really absolutely crucial that you pay close attention to this. And what are some of the best ways to get fiber? Well, probably the single most highest quality fiber that you can get is from vegetables, ideally and preferably organic, biodynamically, and locally grown. Addition to that, some healthy grains if they're appropriate for your nutritional type and for your specific biochemistry. Oatmeal would be a good example. Beans, these are other ones. But there's a type of fiber that is particularly beneficial that many have heard of, but I suspect most aren't using, and that is psyllium. Psyllium is particularly unique in that it has both water-insoluble and water-soluble fibers. And largely because of that, it is actually received from the United States FDA a claim that has been allowed and authorized. And that claim is that it's been shown and proven and allowed by the FDA to reduce the risk of heart disease. So that is unusual because the FDA doesn't hardly ever allow a claim for a food. One of the only other ones that I'm aware of is the omega-3 fats. But in addition to the heart disease reduction, it is also responsible for helping to support the normalization of your bowel movement, so that if you're constipated or if you have too loose stools, psyllium will help support your digestive function. Additionally, it has two other important components in that it tends to slow down the absorption of sugar. So when you combine psyllium with your food, it will tend to normalize those sugar and insulin spikes. And lastly, for the 2/3 of people who struggle with weight, if you have the psyllium with your food, it can actually lead to increased satiety and a fullness because there's a bulk in your intestine. Now, it's great information, and before you go out and run out to the store and get psyllium, I've got to give you a major warning. You've got to be very careful about the type of psyllium that you're going to get, and I'll tell you why. Because psyllium is one of the most contaminated crops out there, and unless your product is certified organic, it's going to be loaded with pesticides and insecticides. And let me just show you a classic example. This is a form of psyllium purchased at the most popular natural food store in the country. And this is the one that I recommend, actually. It's from Organic India. And you'll notice that it has the USDA organic certification on it. Very important if you're going to use psyllium. Get this, because you're going to be using it. Another portion that can be used for is to help support detoxification. And why would you want to do that to your body when you're actually choosing what that is not organic and actually introducing all these toxic chemicals? But not only there's a big value to growing organic because it improves the quality of it. And I just have to show you this. This is quite amazing and dramatic. This is the psyllium from Organic, and you can see what it looks like. It's just, and you can't. What you do is you can't smell it, but it smells tremendous. And this is the one from the natural food store, the very most popular product they have, and you can see the dramatic difference there. Quite impressive. So the other component too is that it's wonderful to use good products, but wouldn't it be nice to support a company that is producing these products? And that's one of the reasons why we went to the Organic India version, who happens to have the largest supply of organic psyllium in the world. But I recently went over to India to confirm what they're doing with the farmers over there. And you probably aren't aware of this. I certainly wasn't. But the farmers in India, they have very small plots of land, and typically most of them are not doing organic farming. They're using loads of pesticides and chemicals, and it's devastated not only the health of themselves, but their family and their livestock, and it's actually dramatically reduced their income level. So the living conditions of the typical Indian farmer is just devastating. And the number one cause of death that they have is actually suicide, and they're using the pesticides, swallowing the pesticides to kill themselves, which is just tragic. About one farmer an hour is dying over there. So there's been a company, Organic India, that 10 years ago recognized this and made a specific commitment to help these farmers out. And 10 years ago they had 9 farmers involved, and when I was over there this year, they had over 150,000 farmers whose living conditions have dramatically improved. They were by switching to organic farming. They were able to get a higher income. They were able to reduce and eliminate their exposure to these pesticides. But Organic India has also improved their living conditions by helping to support them through building schools and hospitals and just improving their living conditions. So it's just an amazing company. I'm just really very excited to be collaborated and associated with a company that's so committed to such a noble goal as improving the living conditions of the farmers who really, for the most part, they're providing such an important resource for all of us, because without food, it's important to be healthy. So hopefully this information is going to be useful for you, because, as I said, my nickname is Dr. Fiber, and I'm a strong believer in it, and I personally use the Organic India Psyllium virtually every day because I think it's such an important product to moving us towards health.